Hey guys, so we're working on my garage door. My spring broke. I've already removed it, and now I need to figure out what size spring to purchase to replace it. And doing some research, first of all I want to mention that my spring was originally on the right side. It was just a single spring setup. About 10 years ago when I bought this house, I added insulation to the door because I live in Idaho and it's cold here. But I never replaced the spring to put a heavier duty spring, so I thought, well, now that it's broke, it might be a good time to upgrade. In doing research, I found that having two springs is much better and lasts longer than a single spring setup. And I'll show you guys that inside in the chart. But first what I need to do is figure out what my replacement spring is. So I'm going to show you guys a few things here, and then I'll show you the charts. So first of all, when you buy a new spring, it comes with these new end pieces. So you do not need to remove this piece, which I didn't know until I did some more research. They want you to measure the spring from the very end to the very end. And since I damaged these springs, what I had to do was, basically there's 4 coils here. So I came over here to this side and I measured 4 coils, and it gave me what the width was to add that to the total length. So basically what I did was I took my tape measure and I measured all the way from here all the way to the end if it was in one piece, and it came out to 32 inches. Okay, so you guys, if you got a broken piece, you just want to connect them back together like this, and then just measure the total length from one end to the other. And you want the spring off your garage door, especially if you're replacing it while it's still in one piece and you're just upgrading, because while it's got tension on it and it's connected, it actually extends the length about 2 to 3 inches. So you want it off the garage door, so there's no stress on the spring. So that's the first thing you do, is you get the full length, 32 inches. Then you want to come inside of here and you want to measure the inside diameter inside. So you want to measure from the inside of the spring to the inside over there, and it's 2 inches. Now the best thing to do is come over here like this and go in from here to here, and that's where you get your 2 inches. That way you get a really good reading. So it's 2-inch diameter. Now you need to figure out what your coil windings are. They're going to tell you to take to the edge of the spring, and you're going to count 10 springs. So you're going to want to count 10 springs. Oops, excuse me, it's hard to do this. So you can just count 10, and then you're going to check your measurement, and then count 20 springs and check your measurement. When I counted 20 springs, it came out to 5 1/4 inches at 20 springs. That was 20 springs. Okay, and that's what I'll show you when we go back to the chart. You're just measuring spring lengths. So let's go back inside. Also, you notice this is on the right side of my garage, so it's a left-hand wind, and I'll show you guys that in the chart here in a second. So I found this website online called expressgaragedoorparts.com, and I'll show you, because there's a couple different sites that we're going to look at. First of all, it tells you the spring turn chart. So once you get it all back together, if your door height from the top to the bottom of your door is 7 feet tall, you want to put your rod in and move it a 1/4 turn up, then put your next rod in and put it another 1/4 turn up, and you're going to do 31 1/4 turns for 7 foot. So that's a chart there. Oops, man, let me get this going back up. So that's your chart. Okay, now I'll scroll down here. This is where I showed you to measure the inside diameter, and so I had a 2-inch diameter just like the one pictured. This shows you if it's on the right side, it's a left-hand wind, and if it's on the right side, it's a if it's on the right side, it's a left-hand wind. If it's on the left side, it's a right-hand wind. And it shows you here that you can see left-hand wind and right-hand wind, what the spring would look like. Okay, now here's where I showed you guys you have to measure from the edge of the spring, and you want to measure 10 winds and then 20 winds. And on mine, 20 winds was 20 winds was 5 1/4. So that's 262, 0.2625. So they call that a 262. So anyway, that's what I do for that. Now that I know my winding is a, let's see, it's a 262 and it's 2 inches inner diameter and it's 32 inches long, that's the spring I need. Now I can come to this next page over here. Now I want to convert my single spring to a dual spring. So I found this website that shows me how to convert. It's DDM Garage Doors Inc. And there's their website. And it has a conversion chart. If you click on garage door springs, it gives you the spring, convert one spring to 2 springs. And you can actually type in the 2-inch inner diameter, the wire size of 262, and the length of 32. And then my garage door height was 7 feet. And then you click go. And then it comes down to a new page. And then here it is. It shows you that the original single spring, the length is 32. And it gives you the weights and whatnot. So if you had a 12-inch rack, it would be 177 pounds of torque basically, and if you had a 15-inch rack it would be 184. But the cycles is what's really something to look at. So basically you should be able to open and close your garage 10,000 times before your spring breaks. Okay, and now I want to convert this to a 2-spring, and I'm going to show you why. So if you convert this to a 2-spring, it tells you to get 2 springs that are 0.207-inch wire diameter, which is much smaller than the 262. But because you have 2 of them, I'm going to show you that the spring weight, it takes the 2 together to make the same weight as before. But you're going to see here that your cycles are 12,000. So you're going to be able to open and close your garage door 2,000 times more than you would with the other one. Now, one of my questions would be, well, so if you take 12,000 and 12,000 because it's 2 and they're helping each other, wouldn't that be 24,000 times you could open? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but I thought that might be an interesting. Now, that was if you were going to convert to 2, but here's another compatible replacement they give you, which is options. If you want to buy a different spring that's maybe not quite as good as the one they recommended, or if you want to upgrade to an even bigger strength spring. So here you can see that you can upgrade your wire diameter to a stronger spring, and what they do is to compensate for the stronger spring is they actually give you a longer spring. So the longer spring actually weakens I guess it weakens the pounds. So basically you get a stronger wire so that it'll last longer, and then they give you longer spring to compensate for the difference. And here's where I'm talking about. So your lift weights are pretty much the same because they went to a longer spring, but your cycles of opening and closing are 25,000. That's 2 times more than if you went to a 207. So that means by going to a thicker wire, you're actually going to last even longer. And the price is only $10 more for the spring. So for it to last twice as long, that's a big deal. And I wanted to show you guys, like I said, so it's 25,000 cycles, and the original spring was only 10,000 cycles. So I mean, that's a big, that's more than double. So that's what I did, was I upgraded to the 218. But now we still have an issue. I mentioned earlier in the video that I had upgraded and added insulation to my door, which adds weight. And there is a way that you can weigh your door, do all your measurements, and then enter it into a calculation chart. But I was talking to a really experienced garage door guy through the first site that I showed you, which was Garage Door Springs Express, this site, and he said just take 1 inch off the spring. he's all, go from a 26 to a 25. So this one, when I went to the 218, they were recommending that I go to a 26.25 spring. He said just go to a 25-inch spring, and that would be fine. That would be what you need. So I ordered a 25-inch spring rather than the 26. So again, this doesn't show you, these compatible springs don't tell you that this is a 2-inch inner diameter, but just know that they are a 2-inch inner diameter because they gave you the comparable spring for the original one that you ordered, which was a 2-inch, and even here they don't show you that it's a 2-inch inner diameter. They do all the specification crossovers for you. You can also even go to an even thicker cable, which was the 225, and again they've added more length to it to compensate, and that's what I was talking about. We were talking about they added length to the spring to keep the weight at the same, so that when you turn it the 31 turns, it's still the same weight. So by taking length off, you're actually adding strength to the spring. So I took an inch off the spring to add strength to compensate for the insulation. So I thought this might help you guys when you're trying to convert from single to dual. But if you haven't done anything to your garage door and you just want to convert it from a single to a dual, this is a great conversion chart to do it from. Now, these two sites you can actually obviously purchase from. But what I did was, now that I know the dimensions that I needed, I wanted the 218 by 25 length, 2-inch inner diameter. I actually went to eBay and I found this garage door torsion spring pair, 218 by 2-inch inner diameter, and I'm actually able to select my length, and it comes in all these different lengths, 22 all the way to 37.5. So I picked my length of 25. You have the option to buy it with the tool, which are the metal tools that help you wind and unwind it. And it basically, I picked it without because I had the tool, but if you pick it with it, it's only $4 more. And then you can actually get the nylon bushing or the steel bushing. Mine had the nylon in it. I stayed with the nylon, and it was only $51 shipped, free shipping, and that's $40 cheaper than I found at this this place here, which was expressgaragedoorparts.com. $40 cheaper. It was even more expensive at this place that gave me the conversion chart. So let's see, the 218s were $52.78 a piece with cones, and $46.18 without. So that's literally $100, and that doesn't even include shipping. So the garage door, this place here was $90 shipped. So $40 I saved ordering them on eBay. So I purchased them on eBay, and if this helps, I'll give you guys the auction number that I found. That was the auction number I found it on. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of these places. I'm just replacing the springs on my door, and I thought this might be helpful to some of you other guys out there trying to do this yourself. So I hope that helped, and have a great day.